My mom is a UM-Dearborn graduate. She also went through HFC, so I'm just following her route. She told me about the connections that she made here. She was a math major, so she told me all the great math classes that she took. So I'm like, okay, let me just try it out here too.
So I actually came from an out-of-state school, but it was just kind of far from me. It was like 8 hours away, so I really missed being home and like living with my family and being close to like my friends, especially after graduating during COVID. Most of my friends stayed home, so I was the only one who like left.
I decided to transfer to UM-Dearborn because I was really attracted to the smaller class sizes. I am a person who really benefits from having that one-on-one interaction with my professor, or being able to know that I can reach out to my professor and it's not going to be like 2 to 3 weeks response, or the class is so full, if I raise my hand, you can't hear me. So that's something I really appreciated about UM-Dearborn.
It's really nice to be able to actually make a connection with your professor versus when you're in a lecture hall with like 400 kids. You don't talk to your professor 99% of the time. If you're communicating, you're probably communicating with your TA.
And then when you guys accepted me here, it was really surreal because I'm like, what? I can actually go to U of M? So that was why I chose U of M-Dearborn, was because I didn't think I'd ever be able to go to a U of M school.
I wanted to go to like the University of Michigan, and I felt this was the best choice for me.
I think Wolverine Welcome Day was a significant moment for me because I had already had a friend, like my best friend, went here, so I did have that connection. But still, that was kind of the only person I knew. So Wolverine Welcome Day did give me the opportunity to kind of meet some people and build some initial connections. And some of those people that I met, I'm actually still friends with today.
I think like it was just a very easy transition. It's a lot smaller of a school. I came from a school with like almost 40,000. So it felt like you definitely meet more professors one-on-one and get to experience that. And it's easier to make a bond with people. Like I met one of my best friends in like the first class I ever had here, and we still talk and we hang out like once a week. So
My experience was a pleasant experience. I've heard a lot of people when transferring, they run into a lot of problems. I think I just applied and then I got an email and that was it. So it was very smooth, very direct.
Yeah, the Summer Bridge program, it was a 2-week program. We would meet Monday through Friday, 10 to 3. And they just provided us with a lot of information regarding financial aid. They went over and we did a tour of the school, tour of the library. We had, honestly, a tour of every building.
even just like communicating, I had met with a counselor before I decided to transfer and just kind of like talked about how setting up classes would be and stuff, and that was really helpful.
My foundations class, which every student who's their first year has to take that, my foundations teacher made it a mission for all of us to get to know the campus and get to know all of the resources. So we did like a scavenger hunt where we did have to go to the writing center and we had to go to Trio so we could get to know those resources.
I did have some friends here, so they were my own supportive program. If I had any questions, I would go ask them directly. And a lot of them are taking the same classes because they're also mechanical engineers. Was activities coordinator for Tau Beta Pi, and I'm an activities coordinator for Pi Tau Sigma. Tau Beta Pi is the engineering honor society, and Pi Tau Sigma is the mechanical engineering honor society.
I am a member of Women in Learning and Leadership, WIL Plus. I am the outreach coordinator for that, which I just hopped on this past year, but I love it so much. They're just amazing people, an amazing organization. I'm also part of the National Society of Leadership and Success. I did join her, so get used to that name. But yes, I have really grown to enjoy those people in that organization as well. It's definitely helped grow my leadership skills and my goal making skills.
I enjoy the diversity, and also since our campus is not the biggest campus out there, I enjoy like seeing faces that I like instantly recognize. I pretty much know everyone at the ELB, maybe even the IVS. And that's very nice because it feels like a family.
Honestly, probably the people. I have met some of the kindest and just most genuine people throughout my time at UM-Dearborn. And it's a different kind of feeling. Like, it feels like there are really people there for you, even people that you don't know. But it seems like there's always somebody there for you. It never feels like I'm alone. It feels like I need something. There's always somewhere on campus for me to go and get what I need.
I like the small class sizes. Like I said before, it is like a lot easier, and you can like have conversations and make good connections with your professors, but also like feel comfortable to ask questions where you're not raising your hand in a large classroom or not even able to ask a question because their professor is just lecturing.
I would say the community between the different organizations I'm a part of. There's so many different people. There's like a variety of different people you come in contact with, and everyone is super welcoming and helpful. And majority of the time, they just want to see you succeed in whatever you're trying to pursue.
Professor Eric Ratz, I took thermodynamics with him and thermofluids 1. I remember asking him a lot of questions and he never not answered my question. Also, he would like help me outside the classroom. I'm applying to a master's University of Michigan-Ann Arbor. And he would like give me tips on how to like write my statement of purpose and even help me decide what I want to do within the master's. Another professor is Dr. Rafa Ruiz. I took design and analysis of machine elements and also computational uncertainty. And he would also answer any question I have, no matter how stupid it is. And he also helped me with my master's, like applying for my master's.
Dr. Roosh, Dr. Laura Roosh, she is a professor in political science and women and gender studies, and she's also the advisor for women in learning and leadership. The first class I took with her was Women in Politics and Law, and she was the one that actually introduced me to Will. And I really appreciate her because she saw something in me that I didn't really see in myself. Like even in her class, I would have things to say, but I wouldn't raise my hand as much, but she knew that like I had things on my mind, I had things that I wanted to say, I had things that I wanted to do. And so she kind of helped push me to get involved.
My first professor ever here was Tim Hartge. He retired. I believe it was the semester I took him or the semester after, but he was just a great like welcoming professor and he kept us like really involved and I loved the class. It was marketing and we did a project on Mars like water and it was just like so much fun and it was the first class I had here and it kind of like set the tone for my time here at Dearborn.
Dr. Vitalis through HHS, he's amazing. He was the work with vulnerable populations professor. Absolutely amazing. Communication on key. He's completely aware and mindful of everyone, that everyone has personal lives and like even if you're going to be late or something, he just talk to him and he will work with you on anything. There's been a couple of times where I had to miss because of kids being sick and stuff. And he's like, I'm going to excuse it. You just get it in as soon as, and just super accommodating. And then Dr. Darcy, which she was my intro to criminal justice, and because that's something I'm minoring right now in. She brings in people from the outside to, guest speakers and stuff like that, and just listening to their stories and listening to her own personal experiences is really fulfilling. Like it gives you a sense, even more of a sense of purpose.
I have an internship with the school. I'm helping with their social media, which is something I've like always dreamed of doing professionally once I graduate. So that's kind of like allowing me to make connections and build a portfolio to add to my resume and just build up more experience.
Within UM-Dearborn, this summer, I had an internship with Molex, Rochester Hills, connector design company. Learned a lot about the engineering workplace, learned a lot about decision rights and ownership, and had a lot of technical experience.
I participated in the Semester at Detroit program, which is basically a program where we live, learn, and work in Detroit. So I was taking classes in Detroit where I was learning about Detroit history and the theory and practice of visionary organizing. And I was also able to intern at the Detroit Justice Center, DJC, and that was a dream for me. That was always where I wanted to intern, even when I started researching the program in January of 2022. So I was so happy to be able to be involved with that and to build those connections with them. And I'm still connected with them because that is just an amazing, utterly amazing organization.
My case is special because HFC and UM-Dearborn have a transfer agreement. So I think usually the cap is 60 credits, but since we have a mechanical engineering program transfer agreement, I was able to transfer 71 credits. But that varies from program to program and from class to class. Some classes there are 5 credits, but they transfer you as 4 credits. So I would talk to your advisor when transferring and It's not going to be hard as long as you're informed of every class that you can take outside that you can transfer here.
I have had a few meetings with the CASL internship office because as a criminal justice major, I do have to take an internship for my major. They have been very helpful thus far.
I went to one my first year just to kind of like talk to different companies, and it was kind of cool just to like see all the people and like all the companies that came in. And then one of my classes we presented in front of DTE, and we got to talk to them after, so that was kind of like a similar thing.
I actually chose CEHHS for through this school because of the 221 program that HFC has with UM-Dearborn, to where I can get my master's. And from what I had heard from my advisors at HFC when I was going there, your guys' program here was exceptional. And so after I had heard that, and then I found out about the Go Blue Guarantee thing, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna lie, I did not apply to any other college except for UM-Dearborn.
My biggest tip is to be more involved on campus. If I was more involved my first year, I think I would have like gained a lot of outside or beyond my coursework experience. And whomever's transferring here, they should consider like being part of clubs, organizations, societies. Very, very beneficial.
Don't be afraid to get involved. For me, I feel like this past summer, so the summer before the second semester of my junior year, was when I really started getting involved. And a big part of that was because of my internship experience and just being exposed to so many different people who were taking advantage of those networking opportunities and just, getting out there and getting involved with the things that they're passionate about. So I feel like when I first transferred here, I was pretty nervous to like get involved in different organizations by myself without having like a person with me. But it definitely has helped me grow as an individual to be able to go and get involved in organizations that are a part of my interests. They may not be connected to other people, but they're connected to me.
Just talk to people. Everyone here is so nice. Like, they're not gonna be like, why are you talking to me? Everyone here like wants to make friends. They're not gonna like disclude you because you're transferring if you just explain it. And I feel like there is a good amount of transfer students. So you guys are all kind of like, we're all in the same boat together. I would say like probably like half the people I've met transferred from like Schoolcraft or Henry Ford, a different community college, to kind of like get their prereqs out of the way.
A lot of people are so smart, and you don't even have to look that far. So I would say just get involved, get in the organizations, put yourself out there.